Man, I want every brother out there to understand that, man, if you're not aggressively working to change things that are detrimental to your success and prospering, man, you might as well be preparing yourself to fail. Man, Pastor Devon Franklin is in the media again, and he's disclosing the real reason of why he divorced his ex-wife, Meagan Good, who is now with Jonathan Majors. Let's talk about it.
The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. Even now, in this very room. You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work, when you go to church, when you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. What truth? That you are a slave. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage. Unfortunately, no one can be told what the Matrix is. You have to see it for yourself. This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
All praise to the Most High Yah Shalom. Thank you for tuning in to another righteous Ruach Spirit-filled episode of The Set Apart Man. Once again, I'm back at it in them trenches, handling that kingdom business. Man, this is a channel where we teach men how to live set apart, how to be more obedient to the word of the Most High Yahweh, and how to navigate this wicked world according to righteousness. You know, man, I want you to understand that if you do not control your lust as a man, what your flesh is attracted to, man, it will ultimately be your demise. It will ultimately be your downfall. And what's crazy is you can go look up some of this stuff that I'm saying, but Pastor Devon Franklin is remarried. He married a new woman. But man, what is happening is his woman has some of the same, his new wife has some of the same conduct and behaviors and traits that Meagan Good had. And that's bad because, okay, man, when you are supposedly a man of the cloth and you have great wisdom of the book, man, there's a certain way you got to move. And one thing I know for sure is an immodest woman will embarrass you, will make a mockery out of you. And here's the thing. Oftentimes, men like this are looked at as hypocritical because you're supposed to be teaching and promoting and leading sheep according to righteousness of what we're supposed to be doing, what men are supposed to be doing. But here it is, that attraction to the woman that sets thirst traps. You know, man, he recently disclosed that, you know, he was tiptoeing and walking on eggshells about asking his ex-wife about, you know, her social media and the thirst traps and the kind of conduct that she was and things that she was displaying. And, you know, he later on said that when you ask somebody to remove, you know, thirst traps in order to set a boundary or respect the relationships and they fight against it, that's a red flag. I agree with it. But the problem is, man, if you do not overcome your flesh, you're going to re-enter into a relationship that has the remnants of the same one you left. And it's not going to get any better. This problem is going to resurface. So the reality is, why are people finally cooking him or bringing it to the surface once again? Well, you know, anytime you announce that this is your new wife and she's holy and thou, man, these content creators are going to do their research. I'm not even going to post any of that post any of his wife because I don't want her getting that advertisement and men looking at her that way. But the reality is, men, it's not looking good. It's not looking good because the same thing his ex-wife Meagan Good was doing, posting these thirst traps, is the same thing his new wife is doing. And as a man of the cloth, sometimes men, we have to learn the hard way. You got to understand, he already knows what the downfall was of his last relationship. And here's the thing, you know, a woman who is immodest, a woman who is rebellious, a woman that does not fear the Most High Yah, that does not obey the commandments, she's going to make a mockery out of you. She's going to make a mockery out of you. She's going to embarrass. And as a man of the cloth, you have to realize, man, you know, You cannot fix everybody. You cannot save everybody. People have to want to be saved. Now, he may be going into this thinking that, okay, maybe I can change her and all of that. There's a high probability you're not going to do that because, you know, she may like the status and the success that comes with who he is. But at the end of the day, you're going to be teaching a message. You're going to be preaching a message that should be rooted in truth, should be rooted in wisdom, should be rooted in guided by the Ruach HaKodesh. And here you are with a woman who is dressed like a Proverbs 5, a Proverbs 7, dressed in the attire of a harlot. That's problematic, man. That makes you look like a flat out hypocrite. And I tell you this, man, you can tell a lot about a man by the type of woman that he entertains, the type of woman that he will bring into his house, the type of woman that he will bring into his fold. It's sad to see this, but it looks like it's happening once again. Man, Meagan Good one time was called out when they were on what looked like an event where him and Meagan Good were sitting on the couch and taking questions from an audience, and another woman called her out about it. And you know what he did? Man, he defended her harlot behavior. He defended her dressing like a prostitute rather than standing on business. And I get why he did that. He wanted to defend and protect his wife, but what did it do? It made him look like a hypocrite at the same time. Man, as a set apart man, you want your woman sexy in the house and things like that. Man, that's your prerogative. But you cannot be a man of the cloth and have your woman just advertising herself to every and anybody out here, for the lowest bidder, having all these men, hang. One thing I know for sure, when it comes to modest women, they don't have all these men orbiting around them. They're not out here posting daily thirst traps. From a modest woman, you're getting a headshot and that's freaking it. You know why? Because the rest of everything that she has or whatever she's blessed with is for her husband. But we're not seeing this. And it's a doggone shame, man. And I hope for this go around, he's able to get this in line. I hope it doesn't turn into the same thing that happened once before. But as men as a whole, I've said it before, man, we have to start looking at character over beauty. And when men overvalue a woman's beauty and underexamine her character, this is how that happens. You end up wifing the Rahab. You end up, wifing the woman that is a Delilah. You got to think, man. You're promoting, like, how can you promote or lead women or lead men in a direction and you're doing something contrary to your word? And this is why I said, man, the type of woman you choose will prove whether you are a hypocrite or not. And here's the reality. They've got pictures of them. He's fully clothed, but got pictures of her standing beside her and she's butt naked, and for all kind of men who got fetishes that's, whatever she's dangling, men are going to orbit around. I want you to understand, man, you cannot catch a fish unless his mouth is open. And oftentimes, if a woman is dangling the bait, fishes are going to have their mouth open. And this is where you get all these men orbiting around these thirst traps. Girl, you're beautiful. I would drink your bath water. You don't want that for your wife. You don't want that. And honestly, man, oftentimes when we come out of a situation like he did, for men that have been divorced, which I have, we need to take some time off and reevaluate. We need to take some time off and to be chastened, to be groomed, to be corrected. Because if we just jump right back into something within, 1 to 2, 3 years, and you haven't actually applied the wisdom from that situation, you end up doing the same thing again. And if you're not aggressively trying to change for the better, something that is a detriment to your success and prosperity, man, you might as well plan to fail. And I get it, man. I know he's like, this woman is different and things, but the same reason it caused him to leave his marriage before is the same thing that he went into this one overlooking. Man, once again, this is the Set Apart Man, kicking that thing gun barrel straight. Until next time, stay set apart, stay disciplined, stay in the word of the Most High Yahweh. Bow.